Every single second, your own body is manufacturing a harsh, toxic chemical, pulling it directly into your hair follicles and permanently bleaching your natural color from the inside out. You aren't just going gray or harmlessly aging, you are the victim of a microscopic chemical spill. If you poured a bottle of salon grade hydrogen peroxide over your head, you would absolutely expect your hair to turn white. What mainstream medicine rarely tells you is that your cells are actively producing that exact same bleach internally right now, stripping away your pigments strand by strand. I know it sounds frightening, and it is incredibly frustrating to watch your vibrant youth seemingly wash down the bathroom sink while you are also trying to manage stiff joints or afternoon fatigue. But I want to reassure you, this internal bleaching is a preventable biological error, not a life sentence. Welcome back to Senior Strong. If you are tired of being told to just accept aging and want the real science backed solutions to take back your health, consider subscribing. We share the biological deep dives that doctors often overlook during a rush clinic visit. I always love knowing who I am talking to, so please take a second and let me know down in the comments, where in the world are you watching from today? Now, let us get into exactly how we can stop this chemical spill in its tracks and activate your body's natural defense systems. Let us start by addressing the primary mechanism of this internal bleaching, which comes down to a crucial enzyme that your body is likely running out of right this very minute. This is the enzyme called catalase, and you can think of it as your body's dedicated hazardous materials cleanup crew. Every single day, your hair follicles produce a small amount of hydrogen peroxide as a natural byproduct of cellular metabolism. When you are young, your body produces abundant levels of catalase, which acts like a microscopic sponge, instantly breaking down that toxic hydrogen peroxide into harmless water and oxygen before it can do any damage. But as we age, our catalase production plummets, leaving the bleach to pool in the follicle and destroy the melanin, the pigment that gives your hair its rich color. A landmark study published in the FACEB journal, the Federation of American Societies for Experimental Biology, found exactly this, proving that people experiencing gray hair have massive drops in catalase activity combined with severe accumulation of hydrogen peroxide in their hair shafts. Imagine a high-tech factory where the waste disposal pipes have suddenly rusted shut. The toxic waste backs up, flooding the factory floor and completely shutting down the machinery that paints your hair. To fix this, you cannot just dye your hair and ignore the internal flood. You need to replenish your catalase levels through your diet by incorporating foods that are naturally rich in this enzyme, such as beef, liver, radishes, cucumbers, and celery. Swap out your usual processed afternoon snack for a handful of crisp radishes or celery sticks. These simple, everyday foods are directly delivering the cleanup crew your follicles desperately need to neutralize that internal bleach. The next crucial piece of the puzzle involves a trace mineral that is almost entirely ignored by modern diets, yet it is absolutely mandatory for hair pigmentation. Even if you clear out the hydrogen peroxide bleach, your body cannot manufacture new hair color without a specific manufacturing mechanism called tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is the enzyme responsible for creating melanin, but it operates on a very strict condition. It absolutely requires the mineral copper to function. Fascinating study published in the journal Biological Trace Element Research analyzed the blood work of individuals who were prematurely graying and found that they had significantly lower levels of serum copper compared to those who maintained their natural hair color. Imagine tyrosinase as a highly skilled artist sitting in a dark room, completely ready to paint a masterpiece, but missing the specific copper paintbrush required to apply the color to the canvas. Without that brush, the canvas stays completely blank, or in your case, white. Unfortunately, due to modern farming practices and soil depletion, the vegetables we eat today have far less copper than they did 50 years ago. To get this vital mineral back into your system and hand the paintbrush back to your cells, you need to intentionally seek out copper-rich foods. I highly recommend swapping out your standard milk chocolate or sugary desserts for a square of high quality dark chocolate, which is packed with bioavailable copper. You can also add shiitake mushrooms to your stir fries or soups, or incorporate a handful of cashews into your routine. These small, delicious shifts provide the raw materials your body is begging for to restart the pigment factories. While we are looking at missing nutrients, we have to talk about the great masquerader of aging, a deficiency that quietly suffocates your cells and bleaches your hair while making you feel utterly exhausted. I am talking about vitamin B12. As we get older, our stomach acid naturally decreases, making it incredibly difficult to absorb vitamin B12 from our food, even if we are eating a healthy diet. This vitamin is the ultimate guardian of your nervous system and your red blood cells, which carry life giving oxygen to your hair follicles. When you lack B12, your follicles essentially choke and the pigment producing cells die off. The Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology published clinical data revealing a strong, undeniable link between pernicious anemia, which is severe B12 deficiency, and early rapid onset of gray hair, noting that in many cases, hair color actually returned once the B12 levels were restored. Think of your hair follicles like a beautiful blossoming garden. If you sever the main water line feeding the roots, the vibrant flowers will quickly wither, turn pale, and die. If you are feeling unexplained fatigue, brain fog, and noticing a rapid increase in silver hairs, do not just assume you are getting old. Ask your doctor for a simple B12 blood test. In the meantime, ensure you are eating B12 rich foods like wild caught salmon, nutritional yeast if you are plant based, or high quality pasture raised eggs. If your absorption is compromised, swap standard vitamin pills for a sublingual B12 supplement that melts under your tongue, bypassing your aging digestive tract entirely and delivering this vital rescue nutrient directly into your bloodstream. Now that we have covered what you need to add to your body, we must confront the silent saboteur you are likely consuming every day that is aggressively pouring gasoline on your internal chemical fire. I am talking about refined dietary sugar. We all know sugar is bad for our waistlines, but its impact on cellular aging and hair bleaching is terrifying. When you consume high amounts of processed sugars, it triggers a massive spike in systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. This oxidative stress directly accelerates the production of that follicle bleaching hydrogen peroxide we talked about earlier. In fact, research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that consuming a single large dose of sugar significantly increases markers of oxidative stress and free radical damage in the bloodstream for up to 4 hours afterward. Imagine taking a beautifully operating, well-oiled engine and deliberately tossing a handful of sharp, gritty sand right into the gears. The resulting friction, heat, and destruction is exactly what sugar does to your delicate pigment producing cells. Every time you reach for that sweet pastry or that sugary soda, you are actively choosing to rust your cells from the inside. To protect your hair and your longevity, you must ruthlessly cut back on added refined sugars. Swap out your sweetened breakfast cereals for whole steel cut oats flavored with antioxidant rich blueberries and a dash of cinnamon. This single change not only starves the oxidative stress that bleaches your hair, but also protects your heart, your brain, and your joints from the ravaging effects of chronic inflammation. If you are finding these biological insights helpful and are starting to see exactly how much power you hold over your own aging process, please take a quick moment to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who are desperate for this kind of empowering, science-backed health information. Let us move on to a factor that you have probably felt in your gut, but maybe never realized was literally draining the color from your head, chronic psychological stress. We have all heard the old wives' tales about a president's hair turning white overnight from the stress of the office, or a mother going gray from worrying about her family. For decades, the medical community dismissed this as a myth, but recent science has proven that stress is a violent trigger for internal bleaching. When you are constantly stressed, your body pumps out a hormone called cortisol, which puts you in a perpetual state of fight or flight. This activates your sympathetic nervous system, the network of nerves that reaches into every organ, including your hair follicles, A groundbreaking, universally praised study published in the journal Nature by researchers at Harvard University discovered that intense sympathetic nerve activation caused by stress actually causes the pigment producing stem cells in the hair follicle to hyperactivate, migrate away, and permanently deplete themselves. Picture a bustling apartment building filled with specialized tenants whose only job is to paint the walls. When the fire alarm of stress goes off relentlessly day after day, the tenants panic, pack their bags, and permanently flee the building, leaving the walls completely bare and white forever. I know that telling you to stop stressing is not helpful, especially when dealing with the very real challenges of getting older, managing finances, or navigating health issues. But you must actively engage in practices that tell your nervous system that it is safe. Swap out 15 minutes of doom scrolling on the nightly news for 15 minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing or a slow walk in nature. Managing your stress isn't just a nice relaxation technique. It is a biological necessity to stop the eviction of your youthful stem cells. The next vital defense mechanism against the internal bleaching of your hair involves the heavy-duty cleanup crew of your immune system, a master antioxidant known as glutathione. While Catalase specifically targets hydrogen peroxide, glutathione is the supreme commander that protects your cells from almost every type of oxidative damage, and it actually helps recycle and support other antioxidants in your body. When your glutathione levels drop, your melanocytes, the cells that make your hair pigment, are left completely defenseless against the toxic environment of the aging body. A detailed study published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology highlighted that the aging of melanocytes and the subsequent graying of hair are heavily associated with the depletion of crucial antioxidant defenses, specifically pointing to compromised glutathione pathways in the follicle. Imagine sending a single soldier out to defend a fortress against an invading army. Without the heavy artillery and reinforcements of glutathione, that single soldier will be overrun instantly. You cannot effectively take a standard glutathione pill because your stomach acid destroys it before it can work. Instead, you have to give your body the building blocks to manufacture it internally. You do this by consuming sulfur-rich vegetables. Make a commitment to swap out nutrient void side dishes like white rice or pasta for broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, or dishes heavily seasoned with garlic. The pungent sulfurous compounds in these vegetables are the exact raw materials your liver needs to synthesize massive amounts of glutathione, deploying that heavy artillery to your scalp to shield your hair follicles from the bleaching effects of aging. Finally, we need to address the structural foundation of your blood, the delivery trucks that bring all these life-saving nutrients to your scalp in the first place. You can eat all the catalase, copper, and sulfur you want, but if you do not have adequate iron and ferritin levels, none of those nutrients will ever reach their destination. Ferritin is a protein that stores iron in your body, and your microcirculation, the tiny blood vessels feeding your hair follicles, is incredibly sensitive to drops in ferritin. When your body is low on iron, it goes into survival mode, shunting the limited oxygen and nutrients to your vital organs like your heart and brain, and cutting off the supply to non-essential tissues like your hair. A fascinating study from the Korean Journal of Investigative Dermatology examined patients with premature graying and found a striking correlation between low serum ferritin levels and the onset of gray hair, indicating that iron deficiency starves the pigment production process at the root. Think of your circulatory system as a fleet of delivery trucks. If the trucks run out of gas, which is the iron, the cargo of vitamins and minerals will just sit in the warehouse, completely useless, while the factory starves. It is incredibly common for older adults to have low iron absorption. To fix this, you should incorporate iron-rich foods like grass-fed beef, lentils, and spinach into your diet. But here is the critical actionable secret. You must pair these iron-rich foods with a source of vitamin C to unlock them. Swap plain water during meals for a glass of water with fresh lemon juice squeezed into it, or eat a slice of bell pepper with your lentils. The vitamin C acts as a key, unlocking the iron and boosting its absorption into your bloodstream by up to 300%, ensuring those delivery trucks are fully fueled and racing to protect your hair. To quickly recap our strategy for stopping this internal chemical spill, you are going to replenish your catalase with radishes and cucumbers, restart your pigment factories with the copper in dark chocolate, protect your nerve health with B12, starve the cellular rust by cutting out refined sugars, protect your stem cells with daily stress reduction breathing, build your master antioxidant defenses with sulfur-rich broccoli, and finally, fuel your nutrient delivery trucks by pairing iron-rich foods with vitamin C. Remember, the appearance of gray hair is not a mandate from the universe that you are fading away, and it is certainly not a reason to surrender your vitality. It is simply a biological communication, a tap on the shoulder from your own body asking for a different kind of fuel and a better kind of care. You have the profound ability to change the environment inside your cells through the food you eat and the habits you keep. By making these specific targeted adjustments to your daily routine, you are doing so much more than protecting the color of your hair. You are actively fighting off the systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, and nutritional deficiencies that rob so many people of their independence and joy as they age. Your body is a miraculous self-healing machine. And when you finally give it the exact tools it has been begging for, the results will astound you. You deserve to look in the mirror and see a reflection that matches the vibrant, energetic, and capable person you truly are on the inside. I want to know which of these hidden triggers surprised you the most today. Was it the internal buildup of hydrogen peroxide, or maybe the way stress literally evicts your stem cells? Please share your thoughts with me in the comments below. I read as many as I can. And if you found this deep dive empowering, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because your health, your longevity, and your vibrant energy are absolutely worth fighting for. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. And remember, you are not just getting older, you are getting wiser, stronger, and more in control of your biology than ever before.